102 Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 5:51 and Def Leppard with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It is going to be sunny with a high of 43 today. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 43. It's 35 right now in downtown Springfield. Before you get into anything, I just got to let you know that this thing is not working, and you're going to have to push the music on your side of the board.
What a burden.
Because I don't, for some reason, I can't even pull up anything on here.
Really?
Yeah. What is this?
I don't know. It's all seeming to all culminate at the end of the year.
Well, it's the end of the year crash. That's what we like to do.
Yeah.
We like to just make things not work.
We were off the air 6 times yesterday. No wonder machines aren't working the way they should.
6 times and nobody noticed. That's weird.
Yeah, that is problematic. Hollywood Trash is brought to you by Aquapump, an expert in all water supply systems from the well to the pump and into the house.
Somehow you still care about what's happening in Hollywood. So, from Tinseltown, 3,000 miles away, it's Steve Nagle's Hollywood Trash.
Oh, I knew she could do it. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You is number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 as it adds a 13th total week at the chart's highest bow.
So well deserved.
The carol reigns in a record-extending 5th holiday season. It was originally released on Carey's album Merry Christmas in November of 1994. And as streaming has grown and holiday music has become more prominent on streaming services playlists, it hit the Hot 100's top 10 for the first time in December of 2017 and the top 5 for the first time in the 2018 season. It led at last prior to this week over the holidays in 2019 for 3 weeks. 2 weeks for it in 2020, 3 weeks in 2021, and then 4 weeks in 2022. But now it's 13 weeks.
It's a total guilty pleasure, Steve.
And then she goes,
"When I wrote it, I absolutely had no idea the impact the song would eventually have worldwide."
Who is that?
That's Mariah Carey.
Wow, she's really let her voice go.
Actually, she kind of talks like that.
That's one of those songs, Steve, that, I don't want to like. I just can't help it.
That's what she did, too.
I've heard that. That could be a hit.
I'm full of gratitude. So many people who will enjoy it each and every year.
Yeah, see, I hear it. I totally hear it. I think you're knocking it out of the park, that impersonation.
She's got a little raspy voice there. She's got something stuck in her throat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Russell Brand has been questioned by Metropolitan Police for the second time in relation to a further 6 allegations of historical sex offenses, according to the BBC. It is understood he was interviewed under caution on December 14th. This is all like British talk. So I don't know what under caution means. That's probably like, he was read his rights and,
Or, his attorney was present.
Meanwhile, there's some English bloke out there listening to the show. That's not what it means! I know what you idiots know what you're talking about.
What is that?
That's a Cockney accent.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
all right,
that?
I guess I can see it.
An investigation by the Sunday Times and Channel 4's dispatches. That must be the 22 News I-team and the BBC.
Yeah, that's the report it line on the BBC.
Oh my God! Guess what we saw? We saw caution tape around a crime scene. It was absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, they revealed allegations of rape, sexual assaults, and emotional abuse against the British comedian and actor. Brand previously has denied the claims. The Met said a man in his 40s attended a police station in South London on the 14th of December. He was first questioned by police on November 16th over 3 other claims. The Force said the man has now been questioned in relation to 9 alleged offenses. It said inquiries were continuing. The story was first reported in the Times back in September, and that the Met said it would investigate all allegations.
So here's the thing. If my recollection is right, and I have no reason to believe I'm wrong, he is an admitted sex addict.
Right.
And he has gone through the process of recovery in some way. I don't know what that involves entirely, but it sounds like many of these allegations are coming from before he sought help for the addiction.
Yeah. So it's
not to say that he isn't guilty or not responsible, but if you're placing a timeline on it, then this kind of shouldn't be too much of a surprise to a lot of people.
Yeah, but having a sex addiction doesn't really give you the right to do those things.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
It gives him no right to abuse anybody. But if you're trying to understand, well, is this a surprise? Did we not see this coming?
I don't know. Katy Perry said he was a creep years ago.
I believe it.
Yeah. James McCaffrey, an actor best known for voicing the popular video game character Max Payne, has died after a battle with cancer, according to TMZ. A rep for the star told them that McCaffrey passed away Sunday surrounded by friends and family. They were told he had been diagnosed with multiple myeloma and that he ultimately succumbed to the disease. This is a huge, wildly popular game. And these video games are not like the video games we grew up with the Pong back and forth on the screen. These are like actual like movies, with real actors. And
well, let's not kid ourselves. I mean, those Pong games are pretty good, though.
They are pretty good,
very addicting.
But this is the reason why it's so popular because as you and I might not know who this guy is. There's a lot of people out there that do.
True, Steve.
Well, I'm just saying, because I don't know nothing about video games anymore. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Not since Pong.
Not since Pong. The Batman, George Clooney, will not be back as Batman ever. The Batman and Robin star briefly appeared as an alternate timeline Bruce Wayne in multiverse movie The Flash, but Clooney told Entertainment Tonight that he has hung up his cape, and he's never doing it again. Well, I thought there was such a clamor for me to come back, as you know, the Boys in the Boat director said. There was a bit where I said I'm actually wearing my rubber nipples, and they were like, can we do it without the rubber nipples? I was like, well, it's not really my Batman, is it, then? He wants the rubber nipples.
Yeah, that's good enough reason to either take the gig or not.
He added, I don't think there's enough drugs in the world for me to go back. Along with Clooney, Ben Affleck played Batman in the Flash. Two Supermen also existed in the movie, with Nicolas Cage finally portraying the Superman he was slated to play for the Tim Burton scrapped 1998 film Superman Lives. The Flash actor Clooney previously quipped to Variety in 2021 that his Batman did destroy a franchise for Joel Schumacher's 1997 Batman and Robin.
Not to age anybody, but he's also a 62-year-old man. What's what do you think is the maximum age to be playing Batman?
Wasn't Michael Keaton coming back as Batman? How old is he?
Easily in his 70s.
I was going to say, so it's not like they're... it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
you can do anything you want with movies because you just have somebody else do the action scenes.
I get that, but if you're Batman and you're chasing, like, say, the Penguin, and you grab your walker, make sure the tennis balls are in the bottom of the walker so that you don't trip coming out of the Bat Cave or the Batmobile.
Yeah,
seems to me it's not you're not really crime fighting at that point.
And the Batmobile is from Wingate, and it has a lift on the back of it that lets you slowly drop to the ground.
Yeah. Plus, it's got the placard so they can get the handicap parking.
I get you. Hey, Kim Kardashian showcased her tiny waist in a crop top walking around Beverly Hills yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Just had something to say.
Oh my God, the last time I showed my tiny waist was when Ray J decorated me like a Wyoming toaster strudel in that sex tape you can purchase on YouPorn for $39.95.
Think about it.
Think about it.
Caitlin?
Well, I never got that down and dirty with your mother, Chris Kim, but I once had her snack on the Cincinnati potato chip. You're going to have to look that one up.
Yeah, you explained it to me, and it just didn't seem plausible.
I had blown it right into the spanker, Chief.
What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is I gave her the ambushed Paddington.
Okay. And that is?
Well, I can't describe what it is, but she's a 68-year-old woman who sleeps with a teddy bear. Someone had to take care of that damn thing. She'll never sleep with it ever again. That's the second thing that was stuffed that day. And that's your Hollywood trash on Rock 102.
Celebrate the savings on new Hondas during Curry.
And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Good people, rock solid service at every Rocky's Ace Hardware.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, yesterday I told you about the Red Sox and the San Francisco Giants both offering $300 million contracts for Japanese free agent pitcher Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Now, as you know, that's a lot of money, but the Red Sox and Giants are not the only ones who are ready to drop the motherload of cash to sign this guy. Plenty of other teams like to get their mitts on this young fella. It just so happens that the Red Sox and Giants were stupid enough to let everybody know how much they were willing to spend, thereby giving everybody else the advantage of knowing that they'll have to do just a little bit better. So far, you got teams like the Yankees, the Mets, the Phillies, the Cardinals, Toronto, and the Dodgers all expressing interest in signing him. And signing him before Christmas. Now, let's all try to look at this objectively. Let's say that you and I are at a car auction. Again, hypothetical, does not represent any real financial intention. And let's say there's a rusted-out crap box on the trading block that I was going to use for parts. Now, let's say, hypothetically speaking, you wanted the same rusted-out crap box that I wanted. Since we both can't have the same rusted-out crap box, we must then place bids. For me to outbid you, I would likely not share any of my financial intentions because by doing so, that would inform you and other interested parties to make a higher bid. You see where I'm going with this on this one? If the Red Sox had any real intention to sign this guy, then perhaps they should have shut up about it. Sure, $300 million for a guy who's never pitched at the major league level seems like a lot of money, and that's because it is. But by blurting out your offer, you've just told the Yankees, the Mets, the Phillies, the Cardinals, the Blue Jays, and the Dodgers where the bar has now been set. And that's just simply stupid, because that sort of thing has just blown up the asking price. On the other hand, that sort of offer could also get rid of all the suckers who might not be willing to go that high. But that's not how I haggle my way through life's occasional financial conundrums. I try to keep my mouth shut, slap on some poker face, and let the other guy make the first move and the first mistake, because that is how haggling is supposed to be done. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Is it too late to decorate? Heck no! Holiday decorations 50% off at Rocky's. Not some of them, all of them. Get creative and get the place looking cheerful and ready for the holidays. Save 50% on all holiday decor at Rocky's. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock at 613, and Led Zeppelin with Bax and Nagle and Rock 102.
It's going to be nice and sunny today with a high of 43. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 43. It's 35 in downtown Springfield. Of course, we're still seeing some effects of yesterday. A section of Route 5 in Northampton is closed due to all that flooding that we had. The rain finally stopped, but the effects are lingering. The flooding of major waterways is shutting down roads this morning. Route 5 between East Hampton and Northampton is closed. That's luckily that's not a very heavily traveled route.
You never see people wanting to go from Holyoke to East Hampton.
Mass DOT made the announcement overnight shutting down the road at 2 a.m. According to the National Weather Service, the Connecticut River reached a minor flood stage around 3 a.m. this morning at 112 feet. They forecast it will continue to rise to 115 feet, clearing a moderate flood stage. This is all after inches of rainfall all over the region and importantly, areas north. Greenfield saw 5.5 inches of rain from Monday alone. Greenfield never sees 5.5 inches of anything.
Occasionally they do, but usually those sort of things from out of town. Mm-hmm. 5 inches fell throughout parts of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, other states, reporting anywhere between 4 to 5 inches. You had hundreds of thousands of people lose power throughout New England. Flights at Logan were canceled. You had schools reporting delays.
Yep.
I mean, my ride home was, I didn't see a lot of, there were trees that were down, but nothing blocked me from getting to my house. And, I was grateful for that.
Yeah.
But I must have spent, oh my God, a good 15 minutes resetting all of my clocks that had been taken out of the correct time.
Zapped out by the power.
Yeah, it's the coffee maker, the microwave oven, the regular oven. It took me forever. It took me all day.
It's your own personal struggle.
Well, this is how I rebuild after natural disasters.
You have to go and reset the clocks everywhere. Good for you.
Well, what's important. The microwave has to be set correctly, and the coffee maker's got to be on time.
Well, I didn't see. I drove home yesterday, and it was pretty windy. Like the wind was blowing with the rain on top of that, which was kind of making it a mess. but I didn't see any like major trees down. However, I didn't go through Westfield yesterday. Usually I go home through Westfield. I just took the back roads through Montgomery because apparently there was some flooding out in Westfield at certain roads. Homestead Avenue, and that was the other thing, because I usually go Homestead Avenue on Route 202 in Holyoke there, right. Off the 91. There was a big flood down there on Homestead Avenue. Luckily my minivan made it through.
Is that a 4-wheel drive minivan?
It actually is a 4-wheel drive.
Really?
minivan.
Can you go off-road in that thing, kind of like Baja around the area?
I don't think the tires are big enough for that, but it holds its own.
Yeah.
It holds its own.
And with such great shock absorbers and stabilization, you can go through those kinds of environmental problems without spilling anything from the cup holders.
That's true. Matter of fact, when John Kupek from Leah Toyota sold that van to me, he said, listen, Stevie, let me just tell you something here, pal. This thing turns into a boat when you need it the most.
It's the chitty chitty bang bang of the Toyota line.
Just don't take your foot off the gas in the middle of the puddle, because you'll never make it through.
I'm watching video yesterday of you ever go down 146 to get to Rhode Island?
Yeah.
Oh, so you get off the pike on 146, and it's a great way to get into Providence, which if you don't mind a broken up bridge you're getting from one end of the town to the other, that's fine. But parts of 146 were completely flooded. And that's like a major cut through to get anywhere between Central Mass to Rhode Island.
Oh God, we can't get to Rhode Island. Please spare me.
There are some people, Steve, that really do like to get to places like
I know.
Sutton, or what else would there be? Any part south of Worcester.
Yeah.
Sometimes people want to get there.
Why?
It's not a matter of why. It's a matter of why not.
Yeah, okay.
But, I mean, this was a hell of a storm yesterday. And, we were lucky because in the Springfield area, there weren't as many, power outages as you would have seen in other parts of the state. There's still a couple 100,000 homes within Massachusetts that they still don't have power.
Well, most of the damage was up north, above Northampton, Greenfield area. Like I was just saying about how they had to close.
And they just got electricity for the very first time.
Well, the hamster drowned. The one that was running the wheel to make the whole city move, it drowned in a puddle.
Oh, that's too bad.
Its cage yesterday. But yeah, it was mostly north of us, and it still doesn't make it any better for the people who had to deal with it and are still dealing with it today. Obviously, Route 5 is closed in East Hampton today, going up to Northampton.
There was a 89-year-old man from Hingham killed when high winds caused a tree to fall over and hit his trailer.
Yeah, I read that yesterday. What a horrible thing. You think you're safe inside somewhere, and then all of a sudden a giant oak tree comes down and ends it for you.
In Windham, Maine, part of a tree fell and killed a man who was removing debris from his roof. Ugh. Now, listen, I understand you don't want that stuff up there, but
wait till
wait till it's over.
Wait till it's all said and done.
Tomorrow is a perfectly fine time to remove the stuff from your roof. Don't go up there in a windstorm.
Yeah, it's not a good idea, and I don't know why people can't wait until the end to do that. What is that? I better go get that branch that fell on the roof.
I don't know. Let's see. A guy died in the Catskills when the vehicle he was driving went around a barricade on a flooded road and it was swept into the Catskill Creek. That's not a good way to go.
Well, at least you died in a nice place.
Yeah, the Catskills are breathtaking.
Beautiful this time of year.
But, when it's surrounded by, hurricane-style winds and, flooding downpours, probably not the best place to go sightseeing.
No, probably not.
At least for that guy.
But yeah, it was quite the nasty storm. They canceled my kid's school yesterday. They sent them all home at noon. Get the call at 10:30 saying, "Hey, we're gonna release everybody and send everybody home for 12:10 because it's gonna get bad throughout the rest of the day." As soon as they made that announcement, the sun started coming out. All the kids are jumping for joy, going, "It's Christmas week! Thank goodness for bad weather."
Children see that kind of irony too.
Yeah,
they really do. They thrive off of it.
Well, that's all my kid was talking about. With her friends, you can hear her talking on the phone. Yeah, and then the sun came out after they announced it. I was like, yeah, I'd be saying it too.
Yeah. I remember days when school was canceled because of the threat of a storm that never came.
Yeah.
And you got the whole day off to do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I'll miss those days.
Yeah, but you know what? The problem with doing that is now it's a little bit better with the school closing because usually they'll tell you the night before. If they're anticipating weather, they're not going to, especially in our area up in the hills, you never know what it's going to be like up there. And most of the time, they'll cancel the school and nothing will really happen. But you got to think about the people who live up in those mountains because it's a regional school district. So people up in Middlefield and all that stuff,
right.
They get hit a lot harder than the people down in the serfs down in the valley like myself who live near the river.
Yeah, but you know what? The technological advances that allows a school to contact everybody at once in advance of an impending storm.
Yeah.
That technology is advanced. Whereas I'm not really entirely sure the technology that predicts storms like that really has, because it's been noted before that sometimes the threat of rain or snow doesn't always materialize. Now you've canceled school for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
Well, but that's what I was getting at. You get up in the morning and you don't know school's canceled yet.
Yeah.
You're already up and you're already wide awake. That's not something you want to be awake for. I would rather know the night before going, hey, I don't have to get up for school. I'm just going to stay in bed all day long, as opposed to getting up, getting ready, and then finally figuring out that, hey, school's canceled.
But you could always go back to bed and sleep more.
Can you? You've already had a couple of Red Bulls. You've already had these kids are getting energy drinks.
I don't know how many kids are drinking the Red Bulls early in the morning.
Well, that's how they stay awake throughout the rest of the day.
I guess.
I'm just saying, it would be nice to know the night before versus the morning of.
It's just about 6:23 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Happy are the holidays.
6:29 and Lenny Kravitz with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
My apologies. I asked you to do something like 2 seconds before we go on the air, and
I tried to get it done.
That was my snafu. So I apologize for that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll not apologize for everything else that you do. I'm just saying that this particular one.
Well, I don't think you're really on the hook to have to apologize for anything I do.
Yeah, I don't know. This computer that I usually run the audio off of is off, and I haven't crawled under the board to put it back on. See, this is a casualty from yesterday's power outage.
Mm-hmm.
The computer doesn't just turn back on by itself, which it should. Yeah, I think we should get that kind of setting put in there.
Right.
But you now are in control of the thing, and you don't know where all the stuff is, and I'm trying to walk you through it. And
well, I mean, the simple explanation would be I could go beneath the board here on my hands and knees and restart your computer.
Yeah,
even though it really should be on your side of the room, but it's on my side of the room. The problem with that is I don't want to get down on the floor.
Yeah,
I mean, at my age, it's getting back up, but that's the worst part.
I don't blame you, but you're going to have to play the joke intro, and I don't think it's the same one that we usually use every day.
Well, I got a bunch here, and I don't know which one is the one we're using.
Well, I don't think it's the one we're using because I heard you preview it, and that's not the one. But it doesn't really matter because it's really just about the joke as opposed to whatever the intro is to.
All right, well, then let's see if this is the one.
All right, let's try it.
It's Bax and Nagle's joke of the day.
No, that's not.
That's okay.
That one?
What's wrong with that?
Is that the one?
I said just play it.
All right,
just
let's try
play
this
it so
one.
we can just get through
It's
it.
Bax and Nagle's joke of the day.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown.
This is the
Is
one.
it on a rotator?
Rock 102.
No.
I make you laugh.
Springfield's classic rock.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. You got it right, and I didn't even have to.
Only took 2 tries.
All right, so a rabbit walks into a grocery store, right?
Yes.
He bangs his paws on the counter. Pound of carrots, please. And the shopkeeper says, I'll get you the carrots, but please do not bang your paws on the counter like that. The rabbit takes the carrots and leaves. The next day, he comes back again, bangs his paws on the counter. Pound of carrots, please. This time, the shopkeeper is more annoyed. I'll let you get the carrots, but do not bang your paws on the counter. You're leaving scratch marks. The rabbit takes the carrots and leaves. The next day, he comes back again, bangs his paws on the counter. Pound of carrots, please. Now the shopkeeper is livid. Listen, I'm going to get you the carrots, but if you do that one more time, I'm going to nail your paws to the counter. So the rabbit takes the carrots and he leaves. Next day, the rabbit comes back. This time he politely asks, "Excuse me, do you have any nails?" And the shopkeeper goes, "This is a grocery store, not a hardware store. Why would we sell nails?" And the rabbit says, "In that case, pound of carrots, please." Ah!
He can't really nail his paws to the bar.
It's kind of like that the duck and the lemonade and the grapes and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Here's your Western Mass News First Alert Forecast.
Our major storm system continues.
6:35 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Bax. As we just talked about earlier this morning, there's lots of closures around the area. That one of them being the section of Route 5 in Northampton is closed due to flooding. Between Northampton and East Hampton, Route 5 is completely closed because the Connecticut River reached a minor flood stage around 3 a.m. this morning at 112 feet. They forecast it will continue to rise to 115 feet. So,
thankfully, like you said before, there aren't a whole lot of people who travel on Route 5 between East Hampton and Northampton. In Holyoke.
Thank goodness for that. Thank goodness that we don't have that. Greenfield has declared a state of emergency for the flood stages. They had, I was reading a story on Mass Live yesterday. It was like hundreds of thousands of gallons of poo from the sewage treatment plant being dumped into the, it's not the Connecticut River. What is it? Is it the Greenfield River up there? I don't know what that is.
It's now the Brownfield River.
Oh, the Green River and the Deerfield River.
Now the Brown River.
Well, it's all brown eventually.
Yeesh.
The city of Greenfield remains under a state of emergency after rainfall caused significant flooding and debris in roadways throughout the community.
Steve, I believe it's pronounced debris.
No, I think it's pronounced debris. You know, I don't care about your stupid little Ivy League school you went to.
It's not. Marquette's far from Ivy League.
Your Poison Ivy League school that you went to.
That's more like it.
Yeah. The state of emergency was officially declared at 12:30 p.m. yesterday. Rainfall in the town caused rapid water rising in local rivers, including the Green and Deerfield rivers. Several streets were also closed on Monday due to flooding and debris in the roadways. As of Monday evening...
Steve, I believe it's pronounced debris.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Marcotte. As of Monday evening...
Steve, I believe it's pronounced Marquette, not Marcotte, like Marcotte Ford. They got you back for sales, service, parts, and rentals.
Oh, I thought your school was sponsoring our podcast. And
nope.
And they fix and sell vehicles of the Ford kind there.
That's Marcotte Ford in Holyoke, not Marquette University, which is about 900 miles away.
Well, no, but you were close to Detroit, where they made a lot of those Fords.
It's still a 10-hour drive to get from campus to Detroit.
Is it really that far away?
I don't know. I'm just throwing the time out there. But yeah, it's a distance.
As of Monday evening, Greenfield police say there were some signs both the Green and Deerfield River are receding, but they're still keeping an eye on those waterways. Bruce Tennyson of Shelburne Falls said, "Winter is just not what it used to be, and the weather has been wild these days." You know, I've noticed that, and it's not going unnoticed to anyone else around here either, that this is almost like the seasons have shifted. And what we're seeing in like August is hot weather that you would have typically gotten in July previously. Now, September and October is almost like late summer. And, I mean, it is late summer up until the 21st, but it's late. It's just the feel of it. And now it's like, this is late fall. This is what we're usually dealing with.
Well, you know, it's like a lot of leaves on the trees have still not fallen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of leaves up there.
Well, if they haven't blown off yesterday, I don't know what.
Yeah, good point. By the way, Milwaukee to Detroit is actually 5.5 hours. I spoke out of.
Oh, that's not bad.
Turn. Yeah, I mean, it's still no reason to go all the way up there, but still.
I'm just ignorant. I don't know if
I'm just self-correcting. I'm doing something that like you would never see like at a news station or in a newspaper.
Unlike my wife's credit card, I'm carrying a complete lack of interest. A Springfield man was found guilty of the 2021 murder of Abu Shante Jennings, who was helping a woman run away from being kidnapped. On May 29th of 2021, a woman who was beaten, threatened, and kidnapped by a known suspect was able to call a friend for help and escape the house. As she flagged down her friend's car, a friend of the driver, 37-year-old Abushante Jennings of Springfield, got out of the car to assist the woman. Jennings was approached by the suspect and shot multiple times. At around 4 a.m., Springfield police were called to the area of Lionel Benoit Road for a report of shots fired. Officers found Jennings on Bertel Hamel Road, suffering from gunshot wounds. He was provided first aid and taken to Bay State Medical Center, where he died due to his injuries. The suspect, identified as Arthur Waters, who is now 44 years old, who was arrested in September of 2021 on a fugitive from justice warrant in Maryland and brought back to the Springfield Police Headquarters. He was found guilty by a jury on December 13th on the charges of murder in the first degree, illegal possession of a firearm, kidnapping while armed with a firearm, and other charges. That's a horrible story.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's like, I'm glad they caught the guy after all this time.
But still,
what a horrific thing. One town in western Massachusetts was named the most Christmassy towns nationwide. Stockbridge was ranked as America's seventh favorite Christmassy town this year, according to Mixbook. The ever trusted Mixbook.
Sure,
you've heard of year after year.
Actually, the first time I've ever hearing of it.
Well, it's been there. Stockbridge becomes a living postcard during the holiday season, with the main street resembling Rockwell's famous painting. The town is filled with historic homes and buildings that are decorated, sometimes open for tours.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you. It's not the town that looks like a Rockwell painting. It's the Rockwell painting that looks like the town.
I always feel like somebody's watching me when I'm in Stockbridge.
That's actually the wrong Rockwell.
Oh, is it?
It is. We're talking about Norman Rockwell, not Rockwell.
Was Michael Jackson on that track?
It sounds like it, but I've heard that's not Michael.
Not him, huh?
Sure sounds like it.
A highlight of the season is the annual Stockbridge Main Street at Christmas event, where the town reenacts the scene from Rockwell's painting, complete with vintage automobiles and a period attire, bringing the artwork to life. The event ran from December 1st to the 3rd and will run from December 6th through the 8th in 2024. The top 10 places across America for Christmas are Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, Durango, Colorado, Lake Placid, New York, Stowe, Vermont, Alexandria, Virginia, Old Saybrook, Connecticut.
Okay.
Never really pictured that as a Christmassy town.
Not really.
Stockbridge, Holland, Michigan, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and North Pole, Alaska. What do they know about Christmas?
Springfield's not in there?
No, Springfield is not in there.
I got to tell you, over the weekend we had some friends of ours from Vermont come down and have like a full Springfield experience. Okay?
Oh, okay.
We had dinner at Red Rose.
You went to the casino?
I think they went to the casino before coming to Red Rose. We had dinner at Red Rose. Place was mobbed. Food was fantastic because it's Red Rose. And then they wanted to go to Bright Nights. They had never been to either one before in their lives. You can't get good pizza in Vermont. That's just a fact. They just don't know how to create it there. But they got nothing in Vermont that shines as brightly as Bright Nights. And it was like the most Christmas thing they'd ever seen in their lives.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you get used to something being there, there's people out there who go, man, I can't wait to go to Springfield, Massachusetts to go to the Basketball Hall of Fame because they've never seen it before.
Yeah.
We see it every day.
So we take it for granted.
Yeah. We also have a complete lack of interest in going there, but that's for different reasons.
Totally.
By the way, did you see they lit up the whole thing with the red and green Christmas lights?
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Well, you got to make room for Santa's sleigh in the parking lot.
Well, if he takes up more than 8 spaces with that sleigh, they'll kick him out. He'll have to find somewhere else to go.
Yeah, he's got a 6-point plan he's delivering on Christmas Eve.
Didn't they just install their Bah Humbug display for the season?
Well, that's always up. That's up 365 days a year. All the board members resemble the Grinch. I don't understand. We took the last can of Who Hash from the open pantry.
Yeah. All the board members are visited by 3 spirits overnight.
Which three spirits are
the ghost of basketball seasons past, present, and future.
Yeah, and I told you, Scottie Pippen does this thing where he reads a story about the history of basketball on this app called Calm.
Mm-hmm.
You can get it. You can get a free trial of it. Just make sure you cancel the subscription before they charge you $15. For the month.
Right.
And but Scottie Pippen does this really. It's supposed to make you fall asleep, and boy, does it.
Yeah, Scotty's not exactly a real dynamic speaker.
No, I'll have to pull that audio up. Maybe we can take a break, and I'll come back and pull that up for you.
Sure.
It's your Pioneer Valley forecast today. Going to be sunny today with a high of 43. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 43. It's 35 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Yeah.
Brothers with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Sunny with a high of 43. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 43. It's 35 right now in downtown Springfield.
This Thursday, Pat Kelly and the road crew are going to be at Tavern on the Hill from 6 to 7 p.m. So for a big ticket blitz to see Get the Let Out. Pat's going to be giving away tickets every 10 minutes to the January 20th show at Springfield Symphony Hall. It's this Thursday, 6 to 7, the big ticket blitz with Pat and the road crew at Tavern on the Hill. 100 Mountain Road in East Hampton from Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock.
I've been doing the stand-up comedy a lot more now.
Yeah.
And I have a show booked on January 20th. I would really want to rather go to the Get the Let Out show because I saw them for the first time last year, and they were awesome. And I heard that every time they play, it's a different set list. They never play the same set list 2 nights in a row, which is pretty cool. And now I'm going to be missing it because I'm going to be telling jokes.
Oh, jeez.
I know.
Well, what would you rather have? Listen to Led Zeppelin music you could listen to any day of the week, or make people laugh when they're feeling their worst?
Go see the Led Zeppelin show.
Yeah, that would have been my choice too.
Hey, I told you I was going to get that Scottie Pippen stuff, but they only have a little excerpt of it, and it's really doesn't really drive home. Plus, I don't want to make people fall asleep on the ride to work this morning.
Let's just say he's a very dry narrator.
But one of my favorite clips this time of year is this is all kind of relevant. Maury Povich just retired this year and also received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Daytime Memories because without him, there would be so many people out there that would not know who the father is of their child. And this one is Mary and Joseph on the Maury Show years ago. Here's take a listen here.
When it comes to the matter of baby Jesus, Joseph, you are not the father.
You got to see this because he's jumping up and down, and he's like, he's doing like anybody would on a Jerry Springer or a Maury show when they found out that they were not the father of said child.
Now, for all of you who may think, well, that's sacrilegious. Yeah. No, it's just plain funny.
It is funny. Hey, listen, lighten up a little bit.
You got to laugh. You got to laugh.
I was thinking about people recently getting offended by certain material.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while we'll get, I can't believe you said that. Listen. If you don't like it, you can turn it, and you don't have to listen to it. People, get offended by something and then continue to listen to it to get even more offended for themselves and for other and more ridiculously for other people. I don't know how you can be more offended than a victim of something.
I got to tell you, I don't think you can turn water into wine without having a tremendous sense of humor.
I can turn wine into urine very quickly.
That's like magic.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have any kind of your divine parts of your body.
How do you think the plants get watered around here?
Well, that would explain why they're all dying.
That's right. But just take a chill pill.
Yeah, come on, please. It's all Christmas. That's what matters. Hey, Will Reichelt and Ed Sullivan, the two last mayors of West Springfield, will be joining us later on this morning for God knows what.
7:45.
Wow, that's next hour? All right, I'll be ready for that.
And we'll do something.
It's just about 6:56 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Rock 102. And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Good people, rock solid service at every Rocky's Ace Hardware.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, I don't know if you were aware of this or not, but apparently football has an occasional tendency to be rather violent. You got dudes crashing into each other. You got dudes sacking quarterbacks, tackling people, trying to prevent very large men from achieving the momentum of forward progress. At some point, somebody's going to get laid out. And when that happens, everybody likes to point fingers as if something needs to be done. And if that involves suspending a guy without pay for the remainder of the season, then I guess the problem has been solved. Yesterday, the NFL suspended safety DeMonte Casey of the Pittsburgh Steelers for the remainder of the season following an illegal hit that he put on Colts wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. On Sunday, during the second quarter of the game, Casey was ejected after he accidentally hit Pittman about the head and neck as he was trying to catch a horrible pass attempt by Colts quarterback Gardner Minshew. Since this is not Casey's first time being cited for unnecessary roughness this season, the league has suspended him for the remainder of the year, losing more than $208,000 in salary. Add that to the 5 times he's been fined so far this year for similar offenses, and the league finally said enough is enough. And so, DeMonte Casey is done for the year. Although, according to some, this was an overreaction, because in this situation, the contact could not be helped. That criticism is coming from guys like Tom Brady, who claims that the real culprit is Minshew, whose horrible misthrow exposed Pittman to take that kind of hit. And that may be true, but that doesn't necessarily negate the other 5 times that Casey has been fined for pretty much the same sort of thing. And the truth is that Tom Brady may be right. Pittman was trying to catch straight-up garbage. The result was an unattended collision. So was it the right call? Well, here's the thing. Nobody wants to see anybody get injured severely, but we sure do love the things that have the potential to cause injury. That's what highlight reels are all about. Sure, concussions aren't much fun. In fact, they're dangerous. But honestly, that's why we're watching in the first place, because that's what makes football so damn enjoyable. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. You know, all it takes is one string of lights, and boom, the holiday spirit comes to life. Holiday decor, 50% off at Rocky's. The lights, the snowman, the Santa, all that stuff. 50% off holiday decor at Rocky's. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch. Field's Classic Rock at 7:09 and Van Halen with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Still cleaning up from yesterday's storm. There's Route 5 in Northampton between Northampton and East Hampton is closed today. So if you're thinking about heading that direction, don't, because you can't. So there you go. 43 for a high today. It's 35 right now in downtown Springfield. I have some stories to share.
Okay.
Of petty revenge. I always love finding new stuff on Reddit all the time, and these are ways that people have gotten back at other people. I think we did this once before, a while ago, but I really like.
Everyone loves a good revenge story.
They do. Here's one. Police were called because of leaves. That's going to cost you. This is recent and very petty, but great. My friend keeps a very clean yard. In the fall, he likes to get all the leaves before it rains and they become a bitch to pull up. His neighbor doesn't care about his yard. He has his own house. He has owned the house for a few years and has still had not really moved in. He lives a few states away. As my friend was finishing up sucking up the leaves with his machine, some of them blew into the neighbor's driveway. Maybe 20 leaves total. It's probably more than that.
Probably.
My friend finished up, went outside. About 20 minutes later, there was a knock at the door and a squad car outside. The officer said they received a complaint about leaves being blown into the driveway. The neighbor had been watching on his doorbell cam and decided this transgression warranted police intervention. Well, as it should. Was this Longmeadow?
I don't want your leaves in my property. Those are your leaves. You deal with your leaves.
You could tell the officer was visibly annoyed as my friend asked the officer to look at his yard, then the neighbors. You know, a cop doesn't want to get involved in this either. He's got bigger things to worry about. Oh, the pettiness. The neighbor had an old car shipped and dropped in the driveway about 8 months ago, where it has sat ever since. Remember, he still lives a few states away. While my friend told the officer he would not clean the leaves promptly, he asked the officer if he could do him a favor. Check the car for proper tags. The officer saw the car in question and gave a slight smile. While my friend cleaned the leaves out of the driveway, the officers were walking around the car looking at the VIN and running information. You could hear the neighbor on his doorbell asking what the problem was. There is a law. Any car that is in the driveway must have tags and insurance on them. The police gave him a call and told him that his car was in violation and he needed to put the car in the garage, which would need to be lifted and dropped in the garage, or get the registration, insurance, and an e-check on the car that can't be driven or taken care of within 2 weeks, or they will come back to tow the car and ticket him. Dude cost himself a 10-hour car ride to get his car lifted and stuffed in the garage, all over a few dead leaves. See? See, that's the kind of the nice things you can give back to your community.
It is kind of nice when you have the opportunity to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, if someone's complaining about the things I do, and they're doing things that are just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah.
Not your fault that you accidentally may have called the cops on them.
No, see, that's what you get for being a busybody. Yeah, you should be taking care of your property to begin with.
Or you could just mind your own damn business.
Or talk to the neighbor and go, hey, did you put leaves in my driveway? And have the neighbor go, listen, I'm sorry, I'll take them off the driveway right away, no big deal. Not call the police. What a waste of resources.
What city was this?
It doesn't say what city it is, but I can just... It's any town, USA, Bax.
Well, I mean, let's say it's Springfield.
Yeah.
Well, I happen to know a couple of police officers in Springfield. They're usually too busy trying to solve, like, crime.
Yeah, and frankly, I think it's an ordinance that you must have a trashed property, because I've seen quite a few of those.
Sure, but...
throughout the city.
You got to call the cops over leaves? I don't think the cop has that kind of time.
You want another one?
Sure.
I disgusted my food-thieving roommate. My roommate was stealing my food and not only admitting, but apparently bragging about it to my other roommates and calling me a pushover. I didn't want to participate in whatever they thought they were doing, especially since I'm moving away in 2 months. But I do want my food. Today, they were sitting in the kitchen chatting. I came in, took my meatballs from the fridge, and licked them one by one while maintaining eye contact with the thief. Then I licked several other items, spit into my milk. It's a waste of milk, but luckily there wasn't a lot of it. And I did all these other things. She looked utterly disgusted. Eventually she asked, "Are you mental?" I calmly replied, "I always do this, didn't you know?" And left. I don't know if she'll stop, but her face of mixed disgust and horror makes it worth it. And I think this is going to keep her from going into my food. You know, when I first started working here, I was putting items in the fridge upstairs, and somebody was eating it. So then I wrote, "I spit in this" on the bag, to which the next day Bob Kester had written, "So did I."
That's great.
Yeah, no, it's not great. If you bring something in and your name is on it, you shouldn't have anybody else eat it. We've had this discussion before, and we've been through several instances where somebody has eaten the items in the refrigerator.
Yeah, if I didn't put it there, I'm not going to eat it. I mean, if there's not, we have like an area where we put like food that's been delivered here, like a common area. Well, then if that's the case, it's up for grabs. But if it's in the fridge, then it's no one's property but the person who put it in there.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't know why anybody would think this is okay to take this from somebody else.
I don't know. I do not know.
There was a whole thing up in the fridge last week. It said sales on it, and it was like filled with snacks and stuff.
Really? What happened to that?
I really want. They probably gave it to clients and stuff like that. You know, like the little gift baskets. We don't get a lot of gift baskets anymore. You know, we used to get like the fruit. Remember, we used to get the chocolate covered fruit from the edible arrangements.
Yeah, that was nice.
And then somebody would always do a Hickory Farms basket.
We haven't had anyone deliver a good beef stick here, and I don't know how long.
A Hickory Farms beef stick.
Yeah,
summer sausage,
or like some cheese that's been dipped in wax to protect it, like in the shape of a football or a Christmas tree.
The cheese that doesn't need to be refrigerated when it's shipped. That kind of cheese.
Yes, that's right.
That's not good cheese, is it?
Yeah, it's good cheese.
No.
Yeah,
I don't know.
A lot of good cheese needs to be served at room temperature.
It does?
Yeah.
All right.
That's when it's at its peak.
Do you want to hear another one of these?
What the heck? We got time.
Use my email as your spam dump. Prepare to be carpet bombed. One day, many years ago, I got an email addressed to someone who had the same first initial and same last name as I do. For the purpose of the story, I will call him the G-Man. As anyone who uses a common email address, think first initial, last name, sometimes you get an email that isn't meant for you. It was mostly incidental things like receipts and occasional personal items, or personal emails. I was chalking them up to being a data entry area. Perhaps they misheard the email address, and instead of typing gclastname@gmail.com, they typed in glastname@gmail.com. No big deal. In the cases where I could, I'd politely reply to the sender and let them know that I was not the intended recipient and to please let the G-Man know that he's giving out the wrong email address going forward. It was never successful. I'd still get emails for the G-Man, and it was for things that I think you'd want to receive, like order receipts or something that had confirmation numbers attached to it. I tried to track down the G-Man, but to no avail. There were multiple G-Man on social media, so I could never 100% confirm which one it might have been. And so this went on for years, until finally one day I got a personal email addressed to G-Man that referenced the company he worked for. Aha! Now I had something and looked him up. It turns out that G-Man is the systems manager at said company. His LinkedIn bio says he's an IT professional. Well, that's interesting. I find his company email and forward him the email, also advising him that the other addresses he's using is attached to another person, and it would be great if he'd become more mindful of what he's typing in or giving out. Again, I was polite in my request to him. He replied and apologized. I thought, well, it's finally over. But it wasn't over. Far from it. The emails I received that were addressed to G-Man actually began to increase in volume. Now I'm getting emails from mailing lists and account signups and all sorts of other crap. This guy seems like a jerk. This so-called IT professional, is clearly using my email address as his spam dump, knowing that it went to an actual person. I would have to sort through dozens upon dozens of emails daily as a result of this. And as we all know, once you're on a mailing list, you tend to end up on a lot more mailing lists.
Sure.
By now, I've decided that clearly this clown is deliberately being a jackass, so it's gloves off and game on. I decided to extract revenge at any opportunity. It started out simple enough. If I got an account sign up, I'd click the link to verify it, then promptly log in and deactivate the account. It worked for a bit, but then there would be another sign up, so I would get more creative. I'd log into the account, change all the information, and most importantly, the password, usually to something like, I'm a gigantic a-hole, which would leave the account active, but totally inaccessible since any attempted password recovery sent to my email account was promptly ignored and deleted. Hotel booking, I'd log on and cancel it the day he was due to arrive. I'm guessing he never got notice, though, since it was all coming to my email. Basically, anything I could do that would inconvenience the G-Man, I did it. This back and forth continued for years. In fact, I still occasionally get emails from the guy. Then one day it happened. I got an email receipt for an order that G-Man had placed. It had the recipient's name and address, but more importantly, it had the G-Man's address on it. Cue up, I've got a golden ticket. I finally had the means to the ultimate revenge. I took his address and I signed him up for everything I could find. Free samples, adult diapers, feminine products, lube, you name it. Catalogs, normal, not so normal, and somewhat raunchy. I spent an entire day finding anything I could enter his address into, and I dutifully filled it out. But the coup de grace, the cherry on top. When I was finding things to sign up for, I stumbled onto a website that allowed you to order free flooring samples. They'd be various sizes, but some were 12 by 12 squares.
Okay.
Carpet, tile, wood, linoleum, whatever. I signed the G-Man up for every sample I possibly could. Then I found another site offering the same thing and did it again and again and again until the point where I literally lost track of how many free flooring samples I signed him up for. My guess, it was easily in the hundreds, if not thousands. I literally carpet bombed the G-Man.
Wow.
Coincidentally, the email volume certainly decreased. I never heard from G-Man either. Maybe he deleted my initial email and forgot, or maybe he was just buried under all those flooring samples. Either way, I'm sure once they started to arrive, he realized his big fat mistake. I bet to this day he still gets items delivered to that address. Would you go that far?
No, I would. I listen. If I were getting inundated with somebody's emails, I'd probably change my email.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
This guy seems like a little like crying baby about it.
I think he is. I think he's a big crybaby. If it's that problematic, get a new email. I mean, no one likes to change their email because it's inconvenient, but it can be done.
He might be being a big baby about it, but it's kind of funny what he did. You know, I mean, if you're gonna get back at somebody, signing them up for all kinds of different items and things like that. I always wanted to get those prank stickers that says, giant dildo enclosed, or some sort of denoting that there's some sort of sex toy inside, even though there's nothing in the box. See,
your inflatable sex doll is inside.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I got for petty revenge this morning.
It's 7:22 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
3 words that taste great together:
bourbon, barbecue, and 7:33 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Bax. The city of Greenfield remains under a state of emergency after rainfall caused significant flooding and debris in a roadway throughout the community.
Steve, I believe it's pronounced debris.
I don't think you don't know what you're talking about. The state of emergency was officially declared at 12:30 p.m. Rainfall in town caused rapid water rising in the local rivers, including the Green River and Deerfield River. Several streets were also closed on Monday due to flooding and debris in the roadway. I don't like debris.
I believe it's pronounced debris.
She's one of those debris.
Like the new Karen.
We call her Deb. For short.
Yeah, I know what that's like.
And there is a traffic alert. Road hug. No, Route 5 between East Hampton and Northampton is closed due to the rising waters of the Connecticut River. So luckily, that's not a very heavily traveled route, and you should be able to get through it no problem.
And the Connecticut River is not like a major river anywhere, so you don't have to worry about that.
Now, I don't understand what do they say? What do they mean by flood stages? Like, so it's flooded. It's considered flooded at 15 feet or whatever the deal is.
I remember what the numbers actually are, but if the water rises by a certain level, there's a they assess a risk number to it.
Yeah,
I don't remember what the actual numbers are, but I've seen that happen before in other areas where rivers, before they crest their banks, they may be in danger of causing flooding. Let's just say, today we get another 8 inches of snow or rain rain.
Yeah.
Then you'd have a problem. I don't think we got a problem. I think we're going to be drying out for a few days.
I think we'll be all right. It's supposed to be sunny all week long. Dan Brown just said it's going to be clear and sunny all the way through Christmas.
I know, like here in East Long Meadow, I know a lot of people. The water table is very high in parts of East Long Meadow.
The table is too damn high.
Right. And what happens is that, even after a small amount of rain, people get flooded in their basement.
Yeah.
You ever have a flooded basement?
Unfortunately, yes, I did.
What a freaking mess that is.
Yeah.
What a mess.
It wasn't like flooding like it wasn't inches of water, but it was enough water to cause some problems to the point where the foundation of the house was so old that we had to take gravel, like the drain rock, and then put it along the side of the house so the water would go away from the house. What a big pain in the ass that was.
It really is. But, water damage can destroy a house.
Oh, absolutely.
If you get enough of it.
A popular restaurant in downtown Springfield has been caught in the middle of a disgruntled customers and a DoorDash imposter. Red Rose Pizzeria. We were just talking about this.
We were.
The other day. Red Rose Pizzeria has had dozens of DoorDash drivers show up for pickups, but no orders to give them. I would say we're up almost 60 to 80 DoorDash driver orders that customers are hoping to receive that they're not receiving. That's according to Red Rose manager Angela Caputo. Dozens of drivers, disgruntled customers, and incomplete orders are the result of what Red Rose told Western Mass News is an imposter trying to take advantage of their legacy. Sometimes you don't feel like cooking dinner, so you walk over to your phone, you pick it up, and pull up something like DoorDash. In Springfield, you can pull up an institution. It's called Red Rose Pizzeria. Ooh, they're really greasing them up down there by Western Mass News. In fact, it pops right up, but Red Rose told us they don't operate on any third-party delivery apps, which means the money that you're spending on the app is not going to them. Somebody is faking Red Rose on the DoorDash thing. The orders have been coming in range from one item to a couple of party-sized pizzas. So give or take $20 and $100 orders that people are placing and are not coming to us that they're receiving them either. Caputo is on the receiving end of both unhappy customers and drivers. I don't blame them. They're upset. We're upset. This is genuinely nothing. There is genuinely nothing no support that has been able to help us with this moment because we can't verify that this account has been created. After realizing the trend in just 2 short nights, Caputo told Western Mass News that she spent hours on the phone with DoorDash customer service. The only way we're able to take down this account is provide an email, a phone number, and digits of the bank account linked to the account, which we're not able to do because it's not our account. Somebody's being an imposter. Oh my God. Western Mass News reached out to DoorDash to get answers for the restaurant. DoorDash said they didn't activate the fraudulent account, and they're actively investigating how it happened. In a statement, they said, DoorDash has no tolerance for fraud, except when we're alerted to it after it's been going on for 3 days. No, that's not what they said. We reached out to Red Rose Pizza to understand their situation and resolve the issue by deactivating the fraudulent store. While rare, this was nonetheless an unfortunate incident. This just goes to show you why this DoorDash thing is ridiculous, and it shouldn't even be a thing.
You know,
all the incidents that we've talked about with this thing.
You know, Red Rose doesn't offer delivery.
Right.
Right? Okay. I mean, it's a big enough operation that they probably could, but they don't need to.
Right.
Every time you call DoorDash, it's going to cost you between what? $2 to $10?
You might as well just go down and pick it up.
Well, see, that's my whole thing. It's like, whenever I want to order something out, I usually will order some place that I am willing to drive to pick up the food. Because, I mean, I don't want to have to pay extra. And then you hear all these stories about, like, drivers, eating the food, getting their hands all over it, dropping big fat Lugers on the food. I don't want that.
Taking stuff for themselves.
Yeah.
Putting their fingers in your eggplant.
Yes.
That means 2 things.
And if I'm a customer and I'm calling DoorDash expecting that they're going to get my Red Rose pizza delivered, and I don't get it, I'm gonna be steamed, and I would hate to think that Red Rose would have to suffer from that, but listen.
Well, Red Rose is smart enough to go, we don't want these crappy third-party apps picking up our delicious food. You come get it yourself when you're ready to pick it up.
Yeah.
And we make it easy for you because there's a guy out in the parking lot making sure that there's nobody parking there that shouldn't be parking there. And they ask you, are you coming here for the restaurant? Because if you're not, you better turn around very quickly, my friend.
And find somewhere else to go.
But they have spaces. Don't they have spaces for you to go pick up the to-go order?
Of course they do. Of course.
So why would you waste your time? I mean, I guess if you didn't have a car and you really wanted Red Rose, a DoorDash might be an option for you, but they don't even participate in the program.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're still going to charge you an arm and a leg for the delivery of the food.
Yeah, you might as well waste the $3 in gas that it's going to take you to go down and get the. Not even.
I don't see anything wrong with taking a PVTA bus to the south end of Springfield. You're getting off right there at Red Rose, grabbing the pizza, waiting for the next bus to your destination. I don't see anything wrong with public transportation and pizza.
And those PVTA guys are like DoorDash. If you tip them an extra $10, they'll keep the meter running while you're inside picking up your order.
Yeah, and I got news for you. I got another tip for you.
Yeah,
the inconvenience of driving to Red Rose is totally worth it because it's still Red Rose.
That is true.
The place is so awesome that it's worth the extra drive.
It is worth the extra drive.
There are days when I would chew the crust of the earth to get all the way down to the south end of Springfield just to make sure I got a table ready for me. I don't care what side of the building. I don't care which kitchen it's coming from.
I like their chicken parm down there.
Hey, you know,
Really
when we were down there on Saturday with friends of ours from out of town, they had never been.
Yeah.
And they had read about it and they said, "Oh, we really want to go to Red Rose." And we're like, "Hell yeah, we'll go." Every time I'm there, every single time I'm there, I just watch. I watch the people who are working there and how much food is coming out of that place every single day. Just in salad alone. It's like, what an operation this place is.
It's not just the food, but it's how much is being served all the time and how good it is every time it comes out. I don't think I've ever had a bad meal from that place.
Never.
I don't think you go to a restaurant every once in a while and you're like, maybe that place didn't hit it on the mark tonight. But you can always know that you're guaranteed some good food going over there.
Place crushes it.
Yeah. So
every night.
They're not on DoorDash. Don't pick up the app. Just go down there. Call in an order and go down there and pick it up. You don't have to do that.
Remember the conversation we had a long time ago?
Yeah.
When they were building the casino and a certain somebody said, "Oh, they should sell out to the casino." And I'm like, "No, they should not."
Because now they're the overflow from everything in the casino or the Thunderbirds games or anything going on down
How
there.
much more money have they made now that the casino is their next door neighbor?
Yeah.
Than if they had just sold out, where the money ends the moment you sign on the dotted line. What an operation. Brilliant business. Good for them.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not the owner, but if I was, I probably would have sold and just said, "See you later. I'm taking off and I'm going to go enjoy the money."
There's a whole lot more money than in sticking it out and doing what they do best than just, handing the keys over to somebody.
We have a guest in the waiting at the door, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Your Pioneer Valley forecast today, it's going to be sunny with a high of 43. It's 35 in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news I'm Rock 102.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 7:51 and Blue Oyster Cult with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Sunny and 43 today, sunny and 43 tomorrow. It's 35 right now in downtown Springfield.
Still time to order your tickets for Bourbon, Barbecue, and Blues. It's happening on Saturday, February 3rd at the Delaney House in Holyoke from 6 to 9. It's a great time, great event, terrific food, smooth drinks, hot music. Neil and the Vipers will be there. Plus, your admission includes a Hudson whiskey tasting, Hudson whiskey tasting and drinking.
Okay.
Plus the multi-course meal and the live music from Neo and the Vipers. Again, tickets and information available at rock102.com. It's Bourbon, Barbecue, and Blues brought to you by Dave Miner Exterior Home Improvements, Aqua Pump, and Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock.
Yeah, and by the way, that is a tasting event. That is not come down and do shots of Evan Williams all night long. They got some really good bourbons there and pairings with some food. It's not like we're holding a work release at the Windsor Cafe and we're going to see how many car bombs you can do in an hour.
See, and part of the thing is, so like everybody gets a certain amount of samples.
Yeah.
And the samples kind of go along with the courses of the meal.
Uh-huh.
So when you get down there and you sit at the table, you're not supposed to start knocking down those shots of bourbon right away. It is a process.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So like if there's like 4 shots of whiskey in front of you or bourbon, pace yourself.
Yeah, please pace yourself.
There's a process here, and it'll be explained to you when you go, but it is a very, very nice event, so make sure you go to rock102.com to purchase your tickets.
We don't condone binge drinking.
No, but we do condone booze pairing.
Pairings. You get your beef, you got your bourbon. It goes hand in hand. So there you go. We've done enough about that. I was reading this story.
I'm glad you think so, too.
Authorities, I'm reading this story on Western Mass News, because they like to put the national stories on there once in a while. Authorities recovered the body of a duck hunter who drowned in Lake Guntersville in Alabama early Monday morning. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency says 22-year-old Brooks... where is that coming from?
Gosh.
What is that?
I don't know. You have audio? Is that what this is?
I am, so tired of these things.
That's what it's about.
Let me see. Is it that? That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
I think that's it. Anyway, a duck hunter. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency says 22-year-old Brooks Hardy of Bremen, Georgia, never resurfaced after his kayak capsized while duck hunting around 8 a.m. on Saturday. Hardy was a former college baseball player and a 2021 graduate of Bremen High School. Several departments and agencies assisted in the search of the recovery of Hardy. According to Eddie Ting of Scottsboro, Jackson Rescue Squad, grass on the lake is the most difficult part of searching, rescuing, and recovering on the lake. I believe we have some audio from the duck hunt. Yeah, see? That was the sound it made.
Yeah,
and then the dog laughed.
Oh, I remember that
when
part.
The kayak.
I remember that part.
Yeah.
I was terrible at that game.
I was terrible at that game too. But I don't know. Well, I mean, I did practice quite a bit. I think I got up to about level like 20, maybe.
Yeah.
And then the ducks just come too quick and too fast. You can't do that. How did we have that kind of technology back then?
I don't know. And when you think about what the video games back then were like compared to what they are now.
Yeah, now you don't even need to hook anything to yourself. It's just a camera that scans your body and moves with you.
Yeah, once upon a time, you used to have to grab a whole stack of quarters from your parents' the floor underneath their bed, and then you can go to an arcade, spend the hours there, completely unsupervised. And that's what we did as kids.
You know what I had? The Power Pad. You remember that?
The Power Pad.
Yeah, I think I think you were a little older than me to because this was like a thing of my generation.
Yeah.
Was the Power Pad. It was like a thing to keep you in shape. It was they had like track and field on it, and a couple other aerobics and all that stuff. It was a mat that you laid out, and then the plug plugged into the Nintendo.
This isn't like the Wii Step, right?
No. And then I think my parents had visions going, hey, if we get him this thing, maybe this fat kid won't be so fat anymore.
Maybe we can get some a meal in us once in a while.
Yeah, and you know what? They were wrong because I didn't do any physical activity on it. The only thing I did was pout with my hands, with my fists on the power pad to make the guy run because I was too lazy to get up and run myself.
It seemed like such a good idea at the time, but had all the negative effects.
And I would say, why can't I have a Sega instead?
Why do I have to have cheap parents?
Yeah, I miss playing the old video games.
Yeah, I kind of do too sometimes.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I'll hook it up. And my friends actually got it. We played it a few weeks ago. And she's got the Game Genie.
The Game Genie.
Yeah, that's the thing where it has, and she has the book with it too, which is it gives you all the codes.
Oh yeah.
So you can mess with the video game. So you can get like infinite lives in the Super Mario Brothers, or you can make the video game do all kinds of crazy stuff. Oh man, that was a hoot.
Man, I used to have the old Atari at the house. I hooked it up to the TV.
Yeah,
it was like my grandmother gave me her big gigantic. Curtis Mathis TV from like 1971, and I hooked the thing up, and oh man, I'd play Missile Command for hours until my hands were all cramped.
Yeah. And now here we are telling these kids to get off your damn phones. There ain't nothing good on those things.
Yeah. Now, see, that's the irony of the whole thing, isn't it? It's 7:57 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Attention, football know-it-alls.
You think? While supplies last. And now, Bax's View from the Couch, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Good people, rock solid service at every Rocky's Ace Hardware.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, yesterday I told you about the Red Sox and San Francisco Giants both offering $300 million contracts for Japanese free agent pitcher Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Now, as you know, that's a lot of money. But the Red Sox and Giants are now the only ones who are ready to drop the motherload of cash to sign this guy. Plenty of teams would like to get their greasy little mitts on this young fella. It just so happens that the Red Sox and Giants were stupid enough to let everybody know how much they were willing to spend on him, thereby giving everybody else the advantage of knowing what they'll have to do to get him. And it's going to have to be a little bit better than that. So you have teams like the Yankees, the Mets, the Phillies, the Cardinals, the Toronto Blue Jays, and Dodgers all expressing interest in signing him. Now, let's try to look at this objectively. Let's say that you and I were at a car auction. Again, hypothetical situation, doesn't represent any real financial intention. And let's say that there was a rusted-out crap box on the trading block that I was going to buy for parts. Now, let's say, hypothetically speaking, you wanted the same rusted-out crap box that I wanted. Since we both can't have the same rusted-out crap box, we then must place bids. For me to outbid you, I would likely not share any of my financial intentions because in doing so, I would be informing you and other interested parties to make higher bids. You see where I'm going with this on here? If the Red Sox had any real intention to sign this guy, perhaps they should have shut up about it. Sure, $300 million for a guy who's never pitched at the major league level seems like a lot of money, and it is. But by blurting out your offer, you just told the Yankees, the Mets, the Cardinals, the Phillies, the Blue Jays, and the Dodgers where the bar has been set. And that's just stupid, because that sort of thing now just blows up the asking price. On the other hand, that sort of offer could also get rid of the suckers who might not be willing to go that high. But that's not how I haggle my way through life's occasional financial conundrums. I try to keep my mouth shut, slap on some poker face, and let the other guy make the first mistake. Because that is how it's supposed to be done. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by the Rockies Ace Hardware. Is it too late to decorate? Heck no. Holiday decorations are on sale 50% off at Rockies. Not some of them, all of them. 50% off holiday stuff at Rockies Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Do big name dealerships have your back? No. Does Marcotte Ford in Holyoke? Yes. Why? Because they're a community-based Ford dealership that cares. And you'll see why when you walk through the door. Have a seat in the Lug Nuts Cafe and discuss your dream with a member of the Marcotte team. You'll hear everything you want, selection, service, which means the start of a relationship with peace of mind for the life of your vehicle. Marcotte thanks the community for having their back, and they're ready to have yours. Marcotte Ford, 1025 Main Street, Holyoke.
102 Springfield's Classic Rock. It's just about 8:11 and ZZ Top with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Going to be nice and sunny today and tomorrow with a high of 43 for both days. It's 35 right now in downtown Springfield.
The entire power block of West Springfield is in the studio with us right now. Mayor Will Reichelt.
Small block.
And an outgoing city councilor, Ed Sullivan.
City council president.
City council president.
Former mayor.
Hanging up his hat and easing his way out of the power block. Ed, what are you going to be doing when you have so much less power?
Well, you got to try to stay relevant, so we'll see how that works out.
Now, you were late this morning. You were supposed to be here to be on the air for 7:45.
I was not late.
Well, we had to celebrate the outgoing city council president.
Oh, is that what it was?
Third time's the charm. We got to spend enough time.
I've left 3 times already.
I thought you were practicing for that Iron Man, and considering all the flooding we had, that river was full of poo, and you just wanted to take a dip this morning.
Yeah, it's an easy flow.
Yeah, I bet it is.
I bet it is.
But you are stepping down. Last night was your last night as a city council president?
I leave actually January 2nd when the new council is sworn in, and I kind of like to think of an old saying that's applicable to sports, making love, and politics. And even though the first 2 aren't applicable, but you always leave wanting them to have one more. So I figured I'll leave,
it's funny how he says it's not until January 2nd. When I was the mayor, when I was mayor-elect, he wouldn't give me the key to the office until I was actually sworn in the day, like January 3rd.
Well, why would you?
Kept the
He's
key.
not in charge.
What are you doing? Like a credit check on the guy?
Yeah, we did a Corey check. We didn't get the results.
And then I got the key. I was like, okay, now I'm there.
Yeah, he's like reaching for the key and the gavel. No. You're not sworn in yet.
That was years ago when you had the booster seat on.
He still has it in the corner of his office.
Oh, get him his Zwieback toast. And the cool thing is, you both use the same things: diapers and Zwieback toast things to
for different reasons, though.
Yeah,
of course.
Different ages.
You're not that far away from the Biter biscuit, that's for sure. But so I mean, that's congratulations.
Thanks. I survived another go around, and we'll see where I pop up again.
You don't want to run for that again, though, do you?
You never know where I'm going to pop up.
I know you say that.
We're instituting like a top end age range too. So
I don't know, but I mean, at some point, just being in charge of all that stuff and having everybody calling you and say, hey, can you get me in touch with the mayor? Can you get me Will Reichelt's cell phone number? At some point you just got to say, all right, enough is enough.
Just call the mayor. I did that last night at the meeting. Some guy was complaining about something. Well, the mayor's right there. I talked to him. He's taking notes.
I mean, he's not going to go too far, though, because we still have our sister city relationships that he's the chair of.
He's still chair of the
we have our
redevelopment
250th
authority.
next year. I'm sure he was there in the founding of the town.
Yeah,
Will, you're never going to shake this guy, are you?
He was
never going to happen.
Did you just say he was there?
Maybe it's the
during
other way
founding?
around.
Yeah. He was
Founding
there.
father.
He was like John Hancock on the town of West Springfield's incorporation agreement.
That's where you wrote the original?
Absolutely.
The
Where do you think
town
it came
charter?
from?
the town charter was on stone.
Absolutely. Yeah, etched in stone.
Yeah.
And there was another set, but you dropped and broke them. And then,
Yeah, I left it on a mountaintop.
Is Mayor Will Reichelt in the studio along with Ed Sullivan from West Springfield. You know, there's a lot going on in town. Obviously, it's your 250th anniversary. Ed was there for at least 249 of them.
Yeah, you get that.
What's the big plan for the anniversary? What's going on?
So on our actual birthday in February, we're going to have fireworks at the middle school. You'll see them at the high school, but they'll be shot off at the middle school. So the center of town, we'll have a huge celebration at the high school, and then pretty much every month there's something going on to recognize the city's history and what we have going forward. But the big things are the actual celebration on our birthday. We have a ball in May. Mm-hmm. We have a big block party. So what the Rotary used to do with the Taste of West Side, we're going to try to bring that back in a smaller, truncated form. See how that goes, and then we have a parade in August.
Now, when you say every month you're celebrating a different part of West Springfield's history, you're talking about the real big stuff, like the day they got a Costco, or the day that Hooters moved in,
or Mingles closed.
Yeah, Mingles closed.
That was a big day.
It was a big day. Yeah, Mingles and
I was there with tears in my eyes.
And the Wrinkle Ranch at the same breath.
Yeah, tears in my eyes those days.
Did you now when Mingles closed? Did you notice Mingles and Geraldine's when they both closed? Did you notice the STD rate dropped? Like all of a sudden went from like 90.
That was before my time. We don't get those stats, but I'm sure that's true.
I mean, there's got to be some connection. There's just got to be.
Those are sealed files in the health department.
So where's the ball going to be held for the 250 celebration?
Tentatively right now at Springfield Country Club.
Oh, okay. As long as it's in West Springfield.
Oh, yeah.
You were move it somewhere else.
No.
It hurts me to come over the river to talk to you guys.
It is curious how some people just have, I don't know, this aversion to crossing the river, like it's
and it goes the other way too.
No, I know it does because when I moved out of Springfield and moved to Hamden, I'm thinking, getting over the river now is really going to be difficult.
Right, big deal. Right.
Now, when you're on the top of the hill at Springfield Country Club and you can see right across the river to the city of Springfield, is that where you do the presentation? You're like, look, see, there's gunshots over there. There's somebody getting mugged on that side, and here we are safe on this side. Because
we actually have cannons set up at the top of the hill just in case.
But you have those pointed towards Holyoke, right?
Well, Holyoke, which used to be part of West Springfield, as I mentioned. 1852 they left. So
and now look at them.
Yeah, they were called the Irish Parish back then, but now they celebrate the Irish Parish once a year.
Well, I think it's Springfield. I don't know all the history. Maybe he does because he was probably there when Springfield Country Club was founded in the 1880s.
Wow.
But it was founded it was Springfield Country Club because it overlooked Springfield. Everyone came across the river and played golf here, and you could see back over the city. It is a nice view.
Actually, it was when it first opened. It was a tennis club.
He was there.
It was a tennis club, not a golf course. So it's evolved over the years.
Yeah, no, it's good. That's a nice course.
Yeah,
I always thought so. So you're also talking about some other things coming to town too, like a brand new roundabout and a brand new Rotary. Yep. Tell me about this. I like
right
this
in the
idea.
Downtown. So a big thing we've been trying to do over the past, I've talked about for 8 years now, and it started before me, is doing more with our downtown. We don't have a huge downtown, but we definitely have a unique town common and space right outside the town hall with a lot of businesses. Westside Bar and Grill, Monopoly, Majestic is down there.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a grant from the Mass Gaming Commission because it's technically Route 20 kind of goes through there and brings all the casino traffic over to Springfield to redo that intersection. And right now, if you're down there, it's a weird three-way type of thing, and you go through and you might get hit. But it's going to be a roundabout next year, and the intersection we're talking about is Elm and so Elm and Westfield. Elm and Route 20, right in front of CVS, is where the intersection is, and that's going to be taken out, and a roundabout will go in there. And the idea being, one, it's safer for cars, pedestrians, and it'll slow traffic down as it comes to the downtown.
I'm really surprised nobody did that years ago. Yeah, right, you think that those traffic problems have been a thing for at least the last 20 years, as far as I can remember. But you think somebody would have come in and said, "Hey, you know what? A roundabout would be great right here."
Well, it's weird because there is pushback for the roundabout because everyone thinks it's this crazy liberal idea and it's in Europe and it's not going to work here. But we have, which is weird for West Springfield because we have 2 rotaries already on the North End Bridge and the Memorial Bridge. Mm-hmm. So the idea that we can't have more of them, I don't really understand it. But even with our engineers design this, they're like, this is a newer thing. I'm like, roundabouts aren't that new.
No, matter of fact, Saratoga, New York there was one section of there that has like 4 of them in a row. But it makes the traffic go much easier than it used to be with multiple traffic lights. Yeah.
And you're not talking about anything that's like crazy, like in Amherst, where like outside of Atkins Farm, it's a figure 8. It's like
double roundabout.
It's a double roundabout. Yeah. I get a headache every time I go past that thing. But there are times when you're in West Springfield where that intersection gets kind of jammed up and kind of convoluted, and all I really want to do is go to a Serrato's, and it just takes me more time to get there. So I understand the hassle of it not being there.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: you mentioned that people complain about it, saying this is too progressive an idea. We can't do a roundabout here in the city. What is their alternative then? What is
do something else?
Like
not an actual alternative. Do something else.
Yeah,
do something else.
Or leave it the same. Just leave it. It's worked before. It'll work now. They just leave it alone.
Yeah, but they don't understand that the traffic increases year over year, and then you have more problems come to time.
Well, the crazy thing about that intersection is, so the first time when I still worked for him, and I went to go get a slice of pizza at Bella, I went to go walk across the street from the Majestic over to Bellanopoly. I went to go hit the traffic button because there's a crosswalk there, and there is no pedestrian button. Mm-hmm. There's just a crosswalk, and it's kind of like do it yourself, figure it out and cross, which really isn't the safest way to get across the street.
That is so much more progressive than Northampton. It's like,
the first problem was he should have stayed in the office when he was working for me. You shouldn't be able to get
that was
pizza.
Probably when I was mayor-elect, and he's like, I got things to do, and I'm like, yeah, we'll do them in January.
I think it's a great idea.
See what I go with?
Yeah. Make the traffic flow a little bit smoother through the city. Anything else you got coming up we should know about?
Riverdale Road's getting redone. Riverdale Street. I know everyone complains about that.
The whole thing?
No. So back in the day, they did, so probably 15 years ago, they did from Morgan to Donut Dip, basically. So now we're going to do Donut Dip into Holyoke. Mm-hmm. So that's going to all get redone.
And they're going to add a bike path. And actually, we're doing a connector between Westfield through West Springfield up to Holyoke. So when it's done, you'll be able to go from Amherst all the way down to North Haven once West Springfield finishes the connector.
So
through Bear Hole.
So we talked about cycling before. Our grand plan is, and it's probably going to be after I'm gone too, but it's to put a master plan in place to show a cycling connection from West Side out into Westfield, because they're going to bring the Columbia River bike path up 10 and 202.
Oh, that's cool.
And if we would go through Bear Hole and then cut across Barnes has a service road, you'll be able to have it on an off-road path from West Springfield to their path. And their grand plan, that goes to New Haven now, but the grand plan is from there to Boston.
What's their timeline on like 20, 30
Westfield's?
years? Yeah, for the whole thing to be done?
The whole thing's decades.
20, 30 years.
But we're working on
I would
our
say
West Side
Westfield's,
but it's not like you're putting
probably 5 to 10.
But you're not putting like a bike lane on Riverdale Street.
Actually, I think
there's going to be so the state's putting a shared use path off on the side. So like a 10-foot sidewalk.
Yeah, because whenever I think about riding a bike, and it's very rare, I must tell you, but whenever I think about it, I've always said I would love to ride my bike on Riverdale Street.
So
this is where I want to go.
I have early in the morning, and just like the road diet that went into Westfield Street last year, I think, and I rode Westfield Street without a road diet. It's scary. And everyone's like, well, no one rides bikes there, so why are we doing it? On Memorial Ave, you hear that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, because it's not safe. Like, you don't think when you're going to ride a bike, I'm going to hop on Riverdale because it's terrifying. So if you build bike lanes and you build bike infrastructure, people will ride on it.
No, actually, what happens is it's still terrifying because you're still on Riverdale Street.
You just got to pedal harder.
Faster.
You definitely needed to go on a road diet from all the asphalt you've been eating for the last 15 years.
Yeah, we have repaved a lot of the roads.
Yeah, actually, so I made a presentation to the council last night because outgoing President Sullivan harassed me for the past 3 months to make a presentation. And now the construction season's over. We talked about the traffic calming projects we're doing in town, the ongoing construction, but also that the council approved a bond for about $8 million a few years ago. We've paved 26.3, so just over a marathon's worth of our roads in the past 3 years.
Oh, that's good.
It's about 20% of roads.
We're running out of time, but can we get the Historical Commission to reopen Mingles? Can we do that? I mean,
we can look at maybe doing like a little 250 reception there and bring back karaoke night, all the crock box of food on the bar.
You don't even need to redo it. Just open it.
Yeah.
Just let it be open.
Actually, you just got to bring the dank back to the building. That was what I kind of missed. I got a question, and like Steve said, we're almost out of time. Does anybody in West Springfield know what happened to the L'Anjou sign outside of Geraldine's?
It was spelled wrong.
It was spelled wrong for years.
It was supposed to be lounge, but it was spelled Luonge or something like that.
It's actually in the mayor's office now.
Yeah. I know where the green overhang is. My buddy has that in his house on Westfield Street.
Really? See what I'm telling you?
Oh, man.
He knows where it is.
I was interested in buying that, but it was too much. It was like they wanted like $1,000 for it, and I thought that was just, maybe a couple $100.
Yeah. But that sign that's supposed to say that misspells lounge. I mean, to me, that's a historical artifact that should never leave West Springfield for any reason.
If we can get our hands on it, I'd love to put it in our museum.
All right, good to know. Will Reichelt, Ed Sullivan, good to see you. Congratulations,
Great
Ed.
seeing you. Thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Safe and enjoyable.
It's 8:25 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. 8:35 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Bax. Traffic alert. Road hog. Route 5 between East Hampton and Northampton is closed because of flooding from yesterday's storm. They say the Connecticut River has reached its flood stage, and it's probably not going to go down for quite a few hours. So find a different way from East Hampton into Northampton if you can. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in a boat.
You remember when you were in high school and you had to do that whole experiment about water displacement?
Yeah.
You don't want to throw anything into the river on a day like today when the levels are so high because every time you toss, say, like used tires or old oil barrels or vehicles, it causes the water to rise.
Oh yeah.
So I would wait before you dispose of any of those things in the river. Wait until the water rescinds, and then you can do your illegal dumping in the river.
Yeah, that's about right. Oh, don't forget your nuclear waste. I don't know what
nuclear
I'm
waste or bodies. Another thing you might want to wait on if you can.
Yeah, gone are the days where we'd have the spring body find.
After the thaw, those bodies just show up.
They would just show up floating by the Basketball Hall of Fame, and eventually. But now we don't have that anymore. The seasons have shifted. Body season is all year long now.
And they say Christmas time is the most wonderful time of the year. Boy, they couldn't be wrong.
At least 3 people were killed as a result of the flooding and high winds yesterday. An 89-year-old from Hingham in eastern Mass was killed when high winds caused a tree to fall on a trailer he was in. In Maine, one man was killed when a tree fell on him and he was moving debris from his roof. And another died from injuries while removing a downed tree from the road. A tree fell on a police cruiser in Guilford, Connecticut, but the officer was uninjured. And in Rhode Island, a woman was injured when a tree branch pierced her windshield. A storm that barreled up the East Coast on Monday flooded roads and downing trees across New England, knocking out power to hundreds of thousands and forcing flight cancellations and school closures. Over 3 inches of rain fell in parts of Massachusetts by mid-Monday morning, according to the National Weather Service. Wind gusts reached around 70 miles per hour along the New England shoreline. Around 285,000 people in Massachusetts, power was knocked out as a result of the storm. So
crazy day yesterday. Crazy.
It was a crazy day, and even down in Connecticut, they were having some issues down there as well.
Yeah.
I know we don't talk very much about Connecticut for some reason. I don't know. Maybe we should talk more about Connecticut. It's our neighbor to the south.
Yeah, I know, but it's like if you're in Springfield, do you want to talk about Connecticut in front of their face when you'd much rather talk about them behind their back?
Well, according to Marty, because he knows everybody. Yeah. He said there's a lot of people down in Connecticut that listen to us.
I know there are.
Like as far down as Weathersfield.
And beyond.
And beyond.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I suppose we could probably toss him a bone every once in a while. Do like a Windsor story or, Ellington, something like that.
Do we really? Yeah, we do care about those places because they're nearby.
Care. The word care is a strong word. I would say we would acknowledge them.
Well, listen,
with a level of feigned concern.
If you want to be in the news, you got to reinvent yourself. Do some crazy stuff. Do some crazy things that let us talk about you.
Yeah, why do you think we talk about Holyoke so much?
I would like to know. You know what? I'm going to put a call out to all the folks in Connecticut. Tell me something weird about your town, and you can email me that.
Yeah.
What's the oddest thing that you have going in whatever town you're in?
Yeah, but you know what? Maybe, and that's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. But in addition to it, maybe if we can get some of the people that live there to do some incredible things, like newsworthy things. I'm not talking about like killing anybody or anywhere anything gets hurt, but maybe like a good property damage story or like a good embezzlement. That would be good. We'd talk about you that way.
And most of the crime that we talk about that happens in Connecticut, we're committed by people from Western Massachusetts. It's like we're outsourcing our crime to go and
Yeah, it's always bothered me when someone crosses a state line to commit a crime and then go back down to Connecticut, like they're going to take the credit for all the good stuff.
It's not like you have a Connecticut sheriff's deputy coming up here and blasting porn through speakers in a car in the middle of an ice cream shop.
No.
They don't take that kind of behavior lightly down at Cold Stone. Despite the name.
Unless you're taking up too many parking spaces.
Right. Hey, Better Together Dog Rescue recently acquired the Dakin Humane Society in Leverett and wants to help a dog that has been in their shelter the longest to find a forever home. Tulip is about 4 to 5 years old and was saved from being euthanized at an overcrowded shelter in Tennessee. She was adopted by a local family. However, the family couldn't afford to treat Tulip's cancer, so she was returned to the shelter. The pit bull terrier had multiple mass cell tumors removed in May and is now cancer-free. She's looking for a new forever home. If you want to learn more about adopting Tulip, get to bettertogetherdogrescue.org. Tulip is a petite little girl with the most soulful eyes. She always wants a snuggle and is an excellent work-from-home partner. She enjoys going on walks and playing in the yard. She adores children and any stranger she meets along the way. This girl deserves the world.
This dog is adorable.
The longest. You know what, though? It's like you're the longest dog that's ever been there.
Just because the dog isn't healthy, it looks like a very, very nice dog.
It is a nice dog.
Yes.
So get off your butts and go ahead and get that. Get that doggy. Get it.
Go get it. Go get it, boy. Go all the way up to Leverett.
My kids want a cat. There ain't no way in hell that I'm bringing another animal into this zoo I already got going on here.
What about the guinea pig? The guinea pig still there?
Yeah, unfortunately. You got another 3 years left of that.
Is that how long they last?
They're 5. You know what? We'll get the one that lives 10. It's 5 years on average.
Your kids will be moved out of the house in 10
kidding,
years.
And I'll be still taking care of the damn thing. Those things are nasty. If your child ever wants one of those, just say no. 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 Probably one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made.
I've never had to bring any kind of rodent.
Yeah, that's
into
what
the
it
house.
is. It's a rodent. It's disgusting.
We've had dogs, cats, and fish. I got to draw the line.
You know what it does? It just defecates and urinates every 5 seconds.
Well, you're no different.
Well, no, but I use a toilet. Nobody has to clean up my shavings. It's like wood shavings in the bottom of the basket.
Yeah, but I can see you dropping it in some wood shavings.
Yeah, but there's nobody to come clean it up. That's the problem.
That's too bad.
2 were killed and 2 were hurt after an early morning shooting in Jasper County, South Carolina, according to law enforcement officials. The Jasper County Sheriff's Office said they responded around 2:30 a.m. Sunday to the Baba Bar, where they said one person died. Another gunshot victim died after being taken to the hospital. The Jasper County coroner said the two people killed were twin brothers.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? 24-year-old Tranquan and Trajan Fripp of Beaufort, South Carolina. Several hours after officials said the shooting took place, investigators were still processing the crime scene. People who worked near the shooting, where the shooting happened, but asked not to be on camera, said they're frustrated by gun violence happening so close to their business. Can you imagine that, though? You do everything alike your twin, up to and including the shooting death that you both died in. Now, that's some sibling connection right there.
It's tragic.
It's tragic, but it's, at least you died with your brother.
Yeah, but I'm sure that if you had questioned either one of those brothers prior to the shooting, I think they would both prefer to be alive today.
Bax, I'm just trying to look on the bright side of tragedy here.
There is no bright side.
Yes, there is. At least you died, but you died with the very brother you were born with. Now, I wonder which one has the closest type. There's always one older than the other one.
Yeah, right. But
even if it's
seconds or
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder which one. Did it reverse?
I don't know.
I'm just fascinated.
I know.
I'm fascinated by this stuff. Aren't you?
Yeah, I find some twin situations to be interesting.
All right, let's talk about sneezing then.
Much better.
That? Sneezing while doing 70 miles an hour on the freeway can be scary, but the alternative is terrifying. A guy in his 30s was recently driving in Scotland when he had to sneeze, and he decided he's going to hold it in. He closed his mouth and pinched his nose, but still sneezed, and it tore a hole in his throat.
Ooh.
Yeah, he showed up at a hospital in severe pain, and a scan showed a 2-millimeter tear in his windpipe.
Ooh.
The technical term is spontaneous tracheal perforation. It rarely happens this way. Doctors could only find a handful of cases. Thankfully, he's okay and didn't need surgery. They gave him some painkillers, and the tear healed itself within a few weeks. Experts hope the story teaches people they should never try to hold a sneeze in like that. If you plug your nose, the pressure in your upper airway can be 20 times what it normally is. He said he's lucky it wasn't worse. It could also cause ruptured eardrums, broken ribs, or even an aneurysm. Really? Holding in a sneeze?
See, I do that. I hold and sneeze.
Do that.
Well, now you tell me I could have a perforated, windpipe.
Well,
all those other things.
A couple of years ago, you were experiencing AFib.
Yeah.
Was that from holding in sneezes?
No.
You're knocking your heart rate off?
No, it's a totally different thing.
That has nothing to do with holding in a sneeze.
I don't believe so, no.
You should.
I'm not a doctor, but I don't believe so.
You know, sneezes come out of your nose at like 230 miles an hour.
Yes.
Like if it was like on scale size, it was 230 miles an hour. Did you know that?
I've heard similar claims. Sure.
Yeah. Well, I made that whole thing up, so I don't know how.
Well, I know there's a lot of velocity. Yeah. I know that because we've all seen it.
Comes out in full force.
Yeah, I mean when you're ripping on a good one, and all of a sudden like you got like a sinus cavity that's just loaded with what's in there. And you suppress nothing. You don't cover anything. It's like,
you ever been around those people that they smell, like the sneezes smell like rotten flesh?
Yes.
What is that? Is that like a condition?
There's a lot of things that are going on inside the human body,
yeah,
Steve, that are absolutely disgusting. I can't begin to tell you all the disgusting things that the body does on a daily basis that we just take for granted. But if you knew what was going on there, you'd be repulsed by the human body.
Maybe it's better we don't know what's going on.
It's much better to not know.
Your Pioneer Valley forecast today going to be sunny with a high of 43. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 42. It's 33 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Ah, yeah.
Still Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's just about 8:54, and Van Halen with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Going to be sunny today with a high of 43. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 42. It's 33 right now in downtown Springfield.
Today's a Shop Tuesday, Steve. This morning at 9 o'clock, if you go to rock102.com, you can save 30% off to see Ruth Ann Lundenberg. Lundenberg, hypnotherapist. You got problems with anxiety, you want to stop smoking, eat less, drink less, Whatever's got you stuck, Ruth Ann can help you get unstuck. At 9 o'clock this morning, 30% off at the Shop 30 store at rock102.com. Don't miss out.
All right. People are starting to send in us stuff from Connecticut, by the way.
Already?
Yeah.
We just mentioned that like 10 seconds ago.
You're looking for Connecticut news? The Connecticut subreddit has a hottest gossip in your town thread about a month ago. I think it's I think the funniest is the Goosegate that happened in Columbia, Connecticut. So we're gonna have to check that out.
Goosegate.
Goosegate.
I don't know nothing about no Goosegate.
Well, it's probably. I bet you know what it is. It's like remember that turkey? There was a turkey. I don't know what town that was in. I think it was Windsor or South Windsor.
Mm-hmm.
That was attacking people. You remember that?
Yeah.
About 5 or 6 years ago. Maybe
Yeah.
even longer than that. So, we can look into it. Maybe it's a goose chasing people out of town.
Well, gooses can be, or geese, can be very aggressive.
Yes,
Yeah,
they can.
They can. Well, that's good to know that the Connecticut's got their share of problems.
Well, everybody's got their share of problems. We just don't know about them until people tell them about it. So then we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty and find out what's going on in Connecticut.
That's good.
I always like talking about drunk drivers. They're always so kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. The driver, whom 2 Nevada state troopers were investigating before a second alleged impaired driver hit and killed them, was found asleep at the wheel with an open can of beer in the car. Police found 33-year-old Guillermo Pacheco asleep at the wheel of a Jeep on the I-15 off-ramp minutes after 46-year-old Jamarcus Williams allegedly drove impaired and collided with Sergeant Marco Abate and Trooper Alberto on November 30th. Williams had a blood alcohol more than twice the legal limit several hours after the crash that killed the 2 men. The News 8 Now investigators first reported at 3:15 a.m. Video shows a highly intoxicated Williams leaving the Palms Casino with security officers. Williams then hid behind a tree. 6 minutes later, then got into a car. Abate and Felix responded to a call for a sleeping driver on the D Street exit at 3:23 a.m. The crash happened a minute later as the 2 men were outside of their cruisers to the left side of the parked vehicle. Minutes later, 2 Las Vegas Metro police officers responded to the crash site, finding Pacheco unharmed and asleep in the driver's seat with the ignition running and a beer in his crotch.
Was there no space in a cup holder?
Well, if you're drinking it and you fall asleep haphazardly in the middle of the street,
Yeah, you're going to get tagged for open container that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once in custody, he told police he was at a work party at Planet Hollywood. Hey, man, was just enjoying shots as the rest of them. We were hoping Arnold Schwarzenegger was going to show up and see if he would do, but he never did. Didn't he start that place?
Yeah, well, Bruce Willis did too, but I don't think he's getting out much.
Yeah, no, but this is what he was trying to do. He was trying to have fun at his work party. Las Vegas must be like, after visiting there a couple of times in the last 6 years, what a dangerous place for anybody to be.
I know people that live out there, and I don't know how. I mean, 4 days of it, I'm ready. I can't wait to get back on a plane to go home.
Yeah, I have a friend who lives outside of the city of Las Vegas.
Yeah,
doing like sales for like a construction equipment stuff. So, the debauchery and all that stuff doesn't really happen in that person's world. It's when they go into the city. That's where all hell breaks loose. There is some crazy shiznick going on in Las Vegas each and every day.
All day long.
All day long.
It doesn't shut down.
It's like a 24-hour Mingles open again.
Yeah. It's like a den of sin with buffets.
And a Denny's. The biggest Denny's you will ever see, by the way.
It's just about 8:59 at Rock 102.
Rock 102.